Hello, sister. How are you? Sister, can you hear me? Hi, good afternoon, sister. Hello, sister. How are you? Sister Doreen? Yes, Sylvia, welcome. Sylvia, how are you?
I'm fine.
You're good, eh?
Yeah.
I hope the problem you had with the units was sorted out. I managed to sort it out. Now you are able to see all your units, yeah?
Yes.
Thank you. That's very okay. You can hear me very well, eh? Sylvia, you can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Ah, that's very good. Ebu, kindly just turn on your camera. It is important also to see the faces of the people we are teaching. Oh, okay, that's good. Sylvia, also turn on yours. Sylvia,
Yes.
you can turn also on your camera. I can see you've muted, stop your video. You can turn on the camera. Okay, sister, that's okay. Hi, how are you? Now, as we wait for the others, maybe for quality purposes of the sound, you can, sister, I've already seen you can just turn off the camera so that we'll get each other well. I'll tell you when to turn it on. Okay, maybe wait for the others just for a short while before we begin. Then I think we'll proceed. Kindly check on the background noise. I'm giving them like 2 minutes, then we'll just proceed. I can see Hodan is joining. Welcome, Hodan, Somani. Okay, I think we've given them quite enough time. We'll just proceed. And for purposes of starting the class, I'll kind of share the screen again so that we're able to see where we are. Some of us, I know for purpose of accessing the same class, some have been having challenges. So I'll use the same opportunity also to kind of demonstrate how we're supposed to have gotten to this point. I hope you can hear me. Hodan Somani? Hodan? Hodan, can you hear me?
Yes, Chair.
You can hear me well, huh?
Yeah.
Sylvia, you are there? Sylvia? And of course, sister, you are there. Others I can see are joining. Cariton, Albanas Mbithi, welcome. Okay, as they join, we'll proceed. Okay, I think for this class, we'll be discussing about, networking. And when you talk about networking, Cariton, welcome. And when you talk about networking, we basically mean how we should be able to connect our computer. Not only a computer, but be it your smartphone, be it your tablet, or any device that you basically use, or rather a computerized device. How do we get to, connect them to the network? So networking basically, Cariton. Okay, now when you talk of networking, we are basically referring to a group of computers that are connected together, for the purposes of sharing data or sharing information. But apart from the information that we get to share, we also have resources. So the definition can simply be that a network is a system in which multiple computers are connected, to each other for the purpose of sharing information. When you talk about information, we are referring to, of course, this class that I have. I am able to pass some information to you direct on your desktop because I've actually shared my screen. You are able to access the same via your smartphone or whatever device that you're using basically to access this class. So that is the information you talk about. We have resources. When you talk of resources, what do we mean? Within a network setup, we have things like the printer, we have files, we have application that can be actually shared over the network. So these are not information necessarily, but we refer to them as resources. In your class, I believe everybody that is actually here, at one point before the pandemic came and you were told, you know, we have to close down and everything has to go online, you people are accessing your classes physically. And within the class setup, or rather the lab, let me talk of a computer lab setup, there were computers, and dependent on the lab that maybe you are accessing, there used to be a printer. Or you could find in one of the machines, there is a computer that has got certain files that are not in your machine that you're using. Say if you have 10 computers and one has particular files that are not in yours, how then can one be able to, you know, to access those files from the other end? What one would basically use is the skill of an IT expert, say somebody who is specialized in networking, like a network support specialist, to be able to network those machines together so that when I'm seated on machine A, I'm able to access whatever data that is there in machine B, or computer 1, computer 2, and I want to access data on computer 1 and I'm on computer 2. How then can I be able to access them? If these machines are basically networked, if these computers are networked, one can be able to, you know, connect and get to have the files from another computer to the computer that they're using. When you get to do that, basically, then you say that you have networked your computers for purposes of sharing resources. But of course, information is what you get when you know. Information is what you get basically when you get to log into your email, and then you get somebody having sent your communication, maybe from another end, if they have got your email. That is the information they're sharing to you. When you log in to your Facebook account, and then or rather in your Twitter account, and then you get some information passed there, maybe something that is trending, somebody is trying to share some information, but that is not what? A resource. So resources within a network are things like the printer. We have got applications. There could be applications that you don't necessarily have them installed on your computer, but where you're accessing them from, you are accessing them maybe online. So we say that that is a resource. So the simplest way to define a computer network is simply a system in which multiple computers are connected together, or rather connected to each other, to share information and resources. We can also simply define a computer network as a group of computers that are connected together for sharing sources, one known as computer network. And of course, I've mentioned those resources. We have a printer, we have a file, applications. If I take you through simpler application that we have, and the advantage why you need to maybe have a Gmail account, I'll go to direct to my Gmail account. I hope you're able to see this. Then I go to Google Apps. You can see where my mouse pointer is, so that I just get to show you some of the applications that you have there. I will click on Google Apps. Then down here, I go to Google Drive. Let me just click on my Google Drive link. Here we are. You can see what opens. I have logged into my Google Drive account, and I can be able to share a lot of information that is here. Most of my notes have actually been uploaded on my Google Drive, and whenever I want to share them with you, it becomes very easy for me. But what of those applications I'm talking about? Say in your laptop, you do not have, say, something like Microsoft Word. you do not have Microsoft Excel installed in your computer, you don't have Microsoft PowerPoint installed. So under the Google Drive, you can always get those applications by going to the Google Drive, then you click on My Drive. I hope people are able to see my screen. Then under Google Docs, I will be able to find blank document, and there are also templates. Under Google Sheets, and the Google Sheets in this case is what represents the Microsoft Excel you're talking about. Let me just admit Gabriel there. Gabriel, welcome. We have Google Slides. This is what we call Microsoft PowerPoint. So let me go and open, say, like Microsoft Word. Here it is not called Microsoft Word, but in Google, as an application within the Google Drive, it is referred to as the Google Docs. So I come and click on blank document. When I click on the blank document, I'll simply have a blank document window, just the same way the other person gets to use their what? The other person gets to use their MS Office, that is MS Word. Have a look at this. So here it is referred to as the Google Docs. As you can see, it has not yet been saved yet, and so it appears up here as untitled. And if I want to give it a name, I can simply type there, then I call it Zoom class. There you are. And of course, when I press on enter, that is automatically saved. And then from here, I can begin, to type whatever I have. If you get to make any error, just like in Microsoft Word, you can see I've typed students and I've made an error. You can see the way it is underlined using the red wavy line. It means I'll have to go back here, right click, then I'm able to correct it by picking students. And then I can put a comma, and the groups that are doing this particular course are diploma in ICT, module 1, and those that are also doing their craft certificate in ICT, craft certificate. Cariton again, welcome. Craft certificate in ICT. These are the groups, of course, that are taking this. I'm just using this basically to get to demonstrate for you how easy it is to access applications. As you can see, the application that I'm accessing here, I have gotten them direct from my Google Drive. And so when I go back, to my notes, and here we are. Let me just admit other people. Cariton, welcome. When I go back to my notes and we talk of resources, these are some of the resources we mean. So an application is a resource. If I lack a particular application in my computer, say one of the MS Office applications, I don't have it installed in my computer, then how easy can I get it? I'll simply go to demonstrate again. I'll simply go to my Gmail account, direct like I am. I'll go direct to Google Apps. Then I come and click on Google Drive. Very important. After clicking on the Google Drive and it opens, of course, you are able to see some of those files that I have here. Here they are. These are files that have actually moved from my computer to the Google Drive account. And so I lack Microsoft Word. I will click on my drive, then I come here and I pick on the application. If it is Google Docs, that is Microsoft Word. Google Sheets, that is for Microsoft Excel. Google Slides, that is for Microsoft PowerPoint. And of course, those applications are very many. You can even see here, if I want to draw my Google Maps, the Google Sites, and many, many others. Check on the file that we just created. This is what you did create. You created it just now. You can see that. And so if I want to open it, to access it, I'll simply double click on it, and I get to open, and I'm back to what I was basically doing. This is a resource. This is a resource. We are only able to achieve this. We are only able to achieve this because of the network that we have. And I repeat again, the definition. We have got two. One is that it is a system in which multiple computers are connected together to each other to share information and resources. The resources I've talked about, one of them I've mentioned the printer. We've talked about file server. You can simply have in your organization or in your company, have one particular computer that has got all, data saved, all information saved in that particular one computer. So we simply come and name it as a server. And what function does it serve? It is simply a server that contains your files. And so the full name we normally give such kind of file, such kind of a server is a file, because we are simply using it for a file. I have got a printer. How many of us are now in this class? In total, you can see the number is big. We are 11, and the 11 people, if you say you are in an office, you didn't go about purchasing a printer for each and every individual. A printer, it is very costly. So what I can simply do is that I'll go to the shop, buy one printer. For the 5 people, I get to have it networked. So if it is networked, then all of us can be able to use it. And that is one of the other advantages of having what? A network. There's this diagram here. I hope all of us can be able to see it. The way a network is, there is the internet. You can see the computers, the way they are connected. And there is a small server here. You can also see a printer. In this network, you can be able to access it via the cable. And then again, it still can be accessed through the wireless connection. Of course, the internet is one of the services that you basically get from having a network. Literally, we cannot have an internet connection without a network. So the network must be designed first. For that network to be designed, we must have certain requirements with us. We normally refer to them as the various network components, And you are connecting to the internet for purposes of what? The main uses of the internet are here, the World Wide Web. And this is why you normally type on your address bar, like here. This is the address bar where the cursor is. This is where you normally type www. For example, Facebook, .com or something. You type it there, then when you press on enter, you get to open a particular page. So the World Wide Web, we say it is mostly widely used part of the internet is the web, which is interlinked with various documents. You people, whenever you are accessing your notes, you normally go to a particular unit. If say, I am on week 4 and I want to go back to week 3 and access something, you can see here. I'll simply come to, the dashboard. And from the dashboard, I come and click on week 3. The moment I click on week 3, the page changes and you can see where I am now. This is now week 3 content. If I want to go to week 1 or week 2, I click on the same. Remember, this is computer applications 1. And what if I want to change from computer application 1 and go to another unit, say like ICT and ethics? I get to click on it from here. There you are. Now this is ICT and ethics. And again, ICT and ethics has got content for week 1, week 2, week 3, up to week 4. There you are. Today's class that we had, here it is. You can be able to see it. And I did record a Zoom class. The Zoom that we had in the morning, I recorded it and I've actually uploaded it here. All of you can be able to see. I want to go back to my other class, computer application 1. So I get to click on it. And when I click, I go direct to week 4. In our week 4 class, we are discussing about lesson 1, the computer networking. How did we achieve this? We achieved it by having this particular Zoom class put here on your dashboard. And of course, you people are able to see this. So for most of us who have joined this particular meeting, they did click on this link, then they did provide the ID and the password, our passcode, apps 1, and you have joined. Why? The internet you're talking about, here we are. We are talking of that the web, rather the internet, uses what is called the hypertext. The hypertext is what basically links us from one page to the other. How is this page where you are week 4 linked with page with week 3, week 2, week 1 in that order? It is because of what we call the hyperlinks. You notice that, check my mouse pointer very well, that if I want to go to say like participants, the pointer changes. Check on the way the pointer is right now. It is the normal pointer, but when I bring it here, it changes to a hand like. This is referred to as a hyperlink. So those hyperlinks, they help us to be able to link from one particular text to the other. And that's what we refer to as hypertext. Very important. So the World Wide Web is one of the services, or rather the main uses of the internet. We have what is called the Voice over Internet Protocol, VoIP. This is a technology that allows you to talk with other people using the internet. If I was to ask here a question, most of us will be able to answer via the internet. I can be able to see. For example, Cariton, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
You're able to hear me. You're following, eh?
Yes, I'm following.
Everybody can be able to, okay, just go back, just mute yourself again. Everybody can be able to hear Cariton's voice. Why? Because we are using a technology where we are able to make calls, we are able to talk over the internet. So this is another service of the internet. And how did we arrive at the internet? Because we did make a network. We had to make a network first for us to come and have our what? Have our internet. So we are able to listen to Cariton's voice because of the technology that we have. We have VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol. It's a technology that allows you to talk with other people using the internet. You can talk at no extra cost. Actually, this is one of the easiest, for me, it is one of the easiest way. If I wanted us to have a meeting, if I wanted to make even a call, it is much cheaper if you have got a Zoom app and the other person also has a Zoom app. You guys can simply connect. One person will create a Zoom session, share the other person's, share with other people the link. If there are any passwords that you've set, you get to share and you are good to go. You're able to talk. So VoIP, and then the other main service again that you also get from the internet is the email. The email allows you to send a message to another person or other people almost instantly, anywhere in the world. If I had, say, like Cariton's email and Cariton says in South Africa, is in Europe, is in America, and another place, and Kameja, welcome, and I want to send him an email, if I have got his email address, it would be very simple for me. I would simply go to my, Gmail account. I'll simply go to my Gmail account, and go to compose. And then after compose, I get to send him an email and it becomes very, very easy for you. The other one we call instant messaging, IM, instant messaging. Actually, one of the applications that is used for instant messaging today is the WhatsApp. You have got the IG, Instagram. I think most of you have actually installed these applications on their phone. Instant messaging is a tool for real-time communication. As opposed to the email, instant messaging is very important for you for purposes of real-time communication, real-time. And we refer to that as real-time communication. This is between two people or even more people. We have a WhatsApp group, and this WhatsApp group, we are able to share a lot of content. Whenever we want to have a class, I normally post the link for the Zoom class there. I want to communicate something, and you people are able to respond. When somebody is typing their email, if it is say like Jamal, if it is Cariton, if it is Harith, or Dan, sister, it is very easy for you to post your message there. And as you post, others are able to see that so and so is typing. I hope you're together, yeah? Hey,
Yes.
class, are we together?
Yes,
Yes.
teacher.
Very good, very good. So instant messaging is also one of those services that we get. And note, this is different from sending an email. You know, when I send you an email, you must not read it like immediately. But when I get to send you a message on your WhatsApp, you know that message, you get it like immediately there and there. It is not like the email where you'll have to wait, maybe you log in the following day. And this is why people talk of, you know, like the WhatsApp, that if I send you an email and you don't respond, then I can say that, you know, so and so has decided to black. They call it what? What term do they use? If you send somebody a message on WhatsApp and they don't respond, they just have a look at it and they leave. What do you people say?
Blue ticking.
Blue ticking. Yeah, there's a time somebody sent me a message in the same WhatsApp and I didn't respond. That was Zamzam. And Zamzam said that teacher many blue tick. That was not the case. Sometimes you send a message and you know when I'm about to send and you know, and maybe I've forgotten something like that. And of course to you, it comes back as a blue tick. You get the point? Very, very important, very, very important. There's also within the internet, within an organization, we can have something we call what? An intranet. And then you also have what we call the virtual private network. I'll go back slightly. Then I just get to show you something that is also very important for you to know about the characteristics of a network. Here we are. Very good. You have a look at this. The information, the resources that we want to share over the internet, it is not just possible for you to get to share these unless you also have components that will help us to connect to the internet. We have the cables. We must have a cable for us to connect. We must have something we call a distributor for us to do what? To connect. We must have something we call a router. We must have something called an internal network card, and another one we call the external what? Network card. On your cables, for those of us that are maybe using the internet, they are connected via the use of the cables. There is something we normally call an RJ45. Some people again are joining. Kameja is joining. Somebody has named his device as apps1. Apps1 was the password, for heaven's sake. Anyway, we proceed. Welcome, Kameja. So we have connections that are different. We have this router. I believe most of us that are using the Wi-Fi from wherever they are to access the same class, there is something we call a hotspot router. You can decide to configure a router to connect to your network through the cables, and the other people decide to use what is called what? The other people decide to use what is referred to as the Wi-Fi. You connect wirelessly. Let me just open some content here so that I get to show you the same devices. So I'll slightly stop the sharing of the screen. Then I'll proceed and open some other content here. Just pay attention. You'll be able to access the same. You'll be able to access the same. I'll share it with you. Don't worry. So before you have your connection on, there are devices, you know, that you must have that allows you to connect to the same network. The same network. Okay, there we are. This is what I wanted to share with you. Under the characteristics of a network, the computer network is about sharing resources. Of course, this one is covered. And those components that we get to share are here, the network cables. When you talk about the network cables, this is how that particular graphic looks like. Good. The network cable. So the network cable basically is used to connect your computer. The most commonly used, the most common type of cable that is used is what is referred to as an RJ45. Here it is. But another person does not use it. That instead they come and use a router that is connecting you through the wireless. So a router is a type of a device that acts as a, it connects us. So it is normally at the central point where everybody connects to. As you can see, the router that I have here, it has got an antenna. And this antenna is what is basically sending the signal so that you are able to connect to it. So when you're configuring a router, you give it a name. And after giving it a name, somebody will be able to see the name. Maybe the name can be anything, like maybe computer application 1, we can decide to configure our router in that manner so that we're able to access it. And you will only need to provide a password for it. So once you've connected, you turn on your Wi-Fi device. After turning it on, you're able to detect the Wi-Fi device that is there. Then you have a password. Then you get to connect. So in terms of the communication devices that we get to use to connect to the internet, the main one, of course, will be a router. And that is what you basically use to hotspot. But for that person that uses a cable, remember the cable that you talked about here, at the back of the computer, we normally call it the back panel, you'll get a port, which you refer to as a network interface card. So this cable here, that RJ45 you're talking about, it basically connects to your computer via this particular port here. I hope you're able to see this diagram here. So I'll be able to plug in my RJ45 direct to this particular port, and I am good to go. Then I get to connect. We refer to that particular card as a network interface card. For your laptop, it has got both of them. There is the one that you use to connect through the cable, and of course, there's the inbuilt one that you use to access your internet. So we have the internal and the external that you use to connect either through the wireless or through the cables. Have a look at the one that we use. You notice that this is very different from this one here. This one, you have a look at it, it has got also an external antenna. So this one is normally used for desktop PCs. For the laptops, you're not able to see. It is inbuilt on the computer motherboard. But for the desktop, it normally looks like this. Very important. But the other people are not connected through the cables or even the router. Some are connecting through what is called a modem. I don't know how many of us are using a modem. Though it is not a common device today, the modem normally looks just like a USB device, a flash disk. But right now, what you have in the market that has actually replaced the modem is what is referred to as the MiFi. It is a small device. You simply need to configure it again and have it somewhere placed on the desk. Must always be on the charge, and then again you're good to go. Time is not really on our side because this class had set it to stop at exactly, I'd given it 45 minutes. So kindly, if it stops, I'm likely to try and start it and be able to join. Huh?
Please.
Gabriel, mute. Gabriel, mute yourself. The other thing that you also need to understand about computer network is the various types of network that we have. We have the local area network, we have the personal area network, we have the metropolitan area network, we have the wide area network. These are various types of networks. And I think in our next lesson, we'll be able to discuss them. We'll have another Zoom class probably tomorrow so that we're able to continue this topic and, we see if we are able to cover all this. Once I schedule the meeting, of course, I'll get to inform you on the WhatsApp. Is it okay?
Yes.
Good. Well, it is just because of time, but like I said, I'll be able to set up another meeting so that we're able to, connect tomorrow, and then we cover the other part, or particularly on the various types of networks. I think it would be very, very important for us to cover all that. Sawa sawa?
Yes.
Yes.
Odan, how are you?
I'm okay.
Very good. Gabriel? Gabriel?
Yes.
Gabriel, your background had a lot of noise. Cariton?
Yes.
Yes, I'm okay.
Ah, that's very good. So, Sister Doreen, how are you? Sister Doreen? So I request that we end it there. I'll be setting another Zoom class for tomorrow, and then we'll be able to cover part of this. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yes.
So thank you very much again. Once again, this is our second. I think it's been very successful for today, the first class and the second class. I'm also going to record this for purposes of those that didn't attend. Thank you and have a good time.
You too, teacher.
Thank you. Thank you.
Likewise.
Bye. Have a good evening.
Same too.